Welcome back. This is History Unmuted. I have Melissa Elder today. She is running for State House, Oklahoma, District 48. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much. Thank you
I,
so much for being on today.
yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's actually State Senate District 24.
State Senate, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. Okay, so State Senate District 24. Okay, Cindy, can you tell us, Melissa, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're running and a little bit about your district?
Yeah. So I am I got my master's in social work from University of Oklahoma, and that was 2014 to 2016.
Hmm.
And I took a policy class in in my course studies and kind of fell in love with macro social work and helping helping to change people's lives for the better, advocating for
Hmm.
them, supporting them through policy. And I thought, this is what I want to do. And I went through, finished my master's, and pretty much the only jobs that I could find were jobs that wanted you to be under clinical supervision and wanted you to work towards therapy. Um,
Hmm.
so that's what I did. I worked in Oklahoma City Public Schools as a school social worker for a couple of years. I worked
Hmm.
for community health centers for a couple of years as a behavioral health consultant in primary care before. And I started seeing clients. So I think advocating for people, that's something that I love to do, whether it's on a macro scale or a micro scale.
Hmm.
And that's a big reason why I'm in this race, but also because I've lived in this house for 22 years in this same district. Um,
Hmm.
until this year, I don't think anybody's ever come and knocked on my door. I haven't really had any connection with a representative who was supposed to be representing me. I didn't necessarily feel represented by them, and it really kind of felt like they don't care what I have to say. Um,
Hmm.
and so I feel like now more than ever, it's important that our voices are heard and people in my district. I know if I'm feeling that way, there's got to be other people feeling that way.
Hmm. Yeah,
That's why.
awesome. And I see that you're running as an independent. Is there a reason why you're doing that?
Well, a couple of reasons. I was a registered Democrat for a long time, and
Hmm.
then like in 2022, had more to do with what was going on in the on the federal level, honestly, with the Democratic Party. But I just, again, felt like you guys, you're missing opportunities and you're not advocating for us, and felt very like disenfranchised with what was going on. And so I changed my party affiliation to independent. Uh,
Hmm.
I know that probably means something other places, but in Oklahoma, just being an independent just means you are no party, right? Like, um, and so that's what I am when I decided to run was like in March um, of 2026.
Yeah.
And I went to go change my affiliation back to Democrat, but it didn't take effect until after the filing date. So I am a registered Democrat now, but when I
Mhm.
filed, I had to register as an independent because that's what I
Mhm.
was.
Okay. Yeah. I understand that. I mean, the Biden administration was a very tough time for a lot of people.
Yes.
I had a lot of problems with the Biden administration as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that. So I can see why. And honestly, especially in red states, the Democratic brand is really bad. And
I,
yeah.
I didn't really have a problem with state Democrats. I mean, we haven't had a lot of power.
Hmm.
Um, but like the individual Democrats that I saw in the state, the few and far between ones, like um, I supported.
I get that. Yeah. But the unfortunate thing about politics currently is it's everything. Local politics is always drowned out by federal politics. So
True.
even if you don't think or agree with certain things from a person in like Massachusetts or whatever other state, you kind of have to be lumped in with what they're saying. So I get that as well. So that's interesting, and that sets you apart from a lot of other people. So I want to ask about who's funding this campaign, and what's your total fundraising looking like currently?
Yeah, well, I've had about 14 donations.
Okay,
We've taken in about $1,400.
that's nice.
Um, yeah. And everybody who's donated so far are my friends and family that I have personally reached out to and asked
Hmm.
to support. None of them live in my district.
Okay.
Um, so that's who's funding it right now. A
Hmm.
friend down the street, a neighbor who is my campaign committee volunteer financial director.
Hmm.
She just donated $1,500, so she just doubled our total
Wow, awesome.
funds. So yeah,
That's a big number because like small races, like every dollar matters. So
yes, sir.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming have you ever taken any money from like real estate developers, any like PAC monies? I'm assuming no.
Nope.
So this is a definitely independent race. But I want to piggyback on that question. If you
Yeah.
are elected, would you take money from real estate developers, business PACs, hospital PACs, or the Chamber of Commerce PACs?
No, in fact, they send you when you file all of those organizations, including like NRA, anybody who's lobbying to the state legislature sends you a little questionnaire to fill out.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't even fill out the state chamber one because no, I don't. I I want to represent the people in my district and what they have to say and what they want. And one of the things that makes me sick to my stomach about politics in our country right now is that you can be bought and paid for.
Hmm.
And it just goes all over me because that is not a democracy.
Yeah.
Um, we should not be looking to what corporations want and need and then, making policy decisions based on that. Like people, that's who I'm
Mhm.
concerned with, not corporations and not companies. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great to hear, honestly. Yeah, a lot of politicians are bought by their donors, and they don't care about the American people. They care about their donors. So
Yeah.
that's good to hear. That is really good to hear. Okay. Oklahoma has a abortion ban with no exceptions for rape or incest. Do you support fully restoring abortion access if elected?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Hands down, 100%. Every woman in this state should get the right to choose what happens to their body.
Mhm.
And um, abortion access, abortion care is healthcare.
Okay. Do you support full LGBTQ non protections in like housing, employment, public accommodations?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%, hands down.
Hmm.
I don't care what your sexuality is. Like you are a person in our state. You have
Yeah,
human rights.
of
Yes,
course. And do you support teachers' unions and collective bargaining rights for public employees?
absolutely. Absolutely. Teachers do a hard job.
Hmm.
And um, we should be paying them um, what they are worth. We should be
Hmm.
treating them as professionals. And hell yes, they should be able to unionize. In fact, anybody in this state should be able to unionize, as far as I'm concerned,
Yeah.
because you know who's not looking out for their best interest? It's
Mm-hmm.
the people in power, and apparently the groups that they listen to are these collections, these lobbyists.
Hmm.
They should have the power to do that.
Okay. Have have you ever supported voter ID restrictions, like like polling places closures? Do you think everyone should be able to vote, or do you think it should be restricted?
I don't think it should be restricted. I think it should be the most user-friendly thing that we have available to us is access to voting. We should get to vote early. We should get to do mail-in ballots. We should, I wish there was a way that you could do it electronically, um,
Mhm.
because I think we would be able to access so many more voters. But then
Yeah,
you also open yourself up to all kinds of other problems. I
yeah,
understand
like
that. Like,
hacking and things like that. Yeah.
sure, but as accessible as we can make it, that's what it should be.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So we're about to get into housing, but first, I want you to tell me about the district that you're running in.
Excuse me.
No, you're
I'm right in Senate District 24, which is primarily more.
yeah.
Um, it's a little bit of North Norman. The boundary is down to Indian Hills on the
Yeah.
south and over to Sunny Lane on the east, and then all the way out to I-44 on the west, and then kind of
Mhm.
wiggles up a little bit up to 27th on the north.
Okay.
Um, my district is there are a lot of working class people
Mhm.
in my district. We've got a lot of tinker employees in my
Oh, okay.
district. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't have any of these numbers. I don't have a person who is um, helping me strategize in that way, but I just got
Mhm.
access to voter information this week. We talked about it in our planning committee meeting, which is
Yeah.
volunteers and a campaign consultant for me. So, um, to be honest, Adam, I have not gone out and like been able to do any door knocking. I haven't had the money to buy walking cards for me to be able to do that. Um, but I've lived here for 22 years and my kids went
Mhm.
through public school system here and I have lots of friends in my neighborhood. Um, and we're all just like normal
Everyday
working
people.
two income homes.
Mhm.
Um, People want to see the education system improved. They want to be able to feel good about sending their kids to public school and that they're getting a quality education and that things are running smoothly. Uh,
Mhm.
they want to trust that they can go to the doctor when they need to and that it's not going to send them into like some kind of medical debt spiral. Um, and they want to go to work. I don't know people who are trying not to work or don't want to work. Like
Mhm.
everybody wants to work, but we also want to know that our workplaces are safe and that if we need to take off, we can take off and that we're not living to work. We're working to live.
Yeah. Okay. So Oklahoma state law prohibits cities from reacting rent stabilization. Would you support rent stabilization for local authority?
Tell me a little bit more about what you mean by rent stabilization.
Um, Helping like controlling rent a little bit more, making it more affordable for people.
Like having a cap or some kind of regulation around that.
Yeah, yeah. Like for like landlords can't exorbitantly raising rents constantly for no reason. Like for instance, our home has gone up like $400 in the last 3 years, and they haven't fixed anything. Like my wife and I, we rent our house, and we went from $1,600 to $2,000,
My gosh.
and they haven't done it. They haven't fixed anything. They just keep on raising the rent for no reason.
Yeah, it it doesn't seem fair.
No.
And it doesn't seem like it's protecting the people who have the least power in
Hmm.
this situation. Definitely, I think there should be regulations around that. um, people have to rent and people have to live. Like I I don't see that this is sustainable, just
Hmm.
continuing to raise rent and keeping people living, you know, in unsafe,
Yeah.
unchecked housing.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. Like it's getting hard for everyone, and like it sounds like you're definitely wanting to work for the working class. So, I mean, that's someone that's something that needs to change,
I
honestly.
agree. Oklahoma is a working class state. Like
Yeah.
our government should be of our people and should be working for our people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you support public or community land trust models for affordable housing?
Land trust meaning like you can't mess with it. It can't
Mhm.
be bought out by a big corporation to,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
I would support that.
Hmm. Funny enough, like we were just talking about housing increases. More in South Oklahoma City have the rent has gone and cost of living has gone up a
Yeah.
lot. If you're elected, what would be one of the things that you would try to change about the rent, in cost of living?
Well, going back to our previous conversation there about regulations and caps, like for one, that bill, I don't know if you saw it. I think it might have started in the House. It was a House bill, but it did pass, and it was like a regulation on who could buy properties. Like private equity cannot just come in and buy up properties, raise the rent, and then like dip out and not be around to actually manage the properties.
Hmm.
Um, that passed, and I think I was really happy that somebody was out there thinking about people who are renting. And I think the thing that I would do is I would want to figure out how we could regulate the rent more. I
Hmm.
don't know what that would entail, Adam. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't have like a legislative like some legislation in my back
Hmm.
pocket to say like
Yeah.
I would do this. But I think my philosophy of what a government should be is we should be the ones holding the corporations, and we have the power to regulate business and
Hmm.
to make it work for the people. And we can hold those people accountable, and we can control as the government their power to exploit the people in this state. And so I think we should do that. Whatever legislation we would need to pass to do that, that's what I
Hmm.
would support.
Yeah. Another question I have. So, would you support having restrictions on outside corporations owning houses in Oklahoma? Like, for instance, the house that we rent is a big corporation in Georgia that owns the houses here. Would you support restricting things like that? So it'd be more Oklahoma businesses own houses here instead of some random company that no one knows in some random state.
Yes, 100% yes. I've lived, I haven't lived, but I have rented office space now
Hmm.
in, actually, it's my third place to rent. And the last place that I was at, it was kind of the same situation where the landlord was out of state and didn't check on stuff, was not responsive to concerns that I had. We had huge leaks in this building. There was all kinds of mold, was never addressed. It was never, and it was like there was nothing that we could do about it. There was no recourse except for us to move. Um, And like that's not okay. That's not okay. I can't imagine, that was just my office space. I can't imagine that being my house. Your house should be your safe space. You,
Hmm.
you should be able to live and breathe and sleep comfortably in your home. And I don't think that people who are out of state um, can can feel what their renters are feeling of the because they're not here. They they don't have to be responsive. And
Mhm.
if they are if they are building owners and they are renting out spaces, they have a responsibility to those tenants. And they have a responsibility to fix things that are wrong, but they also need to be accessible to people.
Mhm.
Yes, there definitely should be some kind of regulation around who owns the property in our state. Um, and honestly, that's money that renters are paying that's leaving the state. Like, what?
Yeah.
There should be we should be able to capture the taxes and everything around that, and we should also be able to regulate who
Hmm.
is coming in and buying property
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's talk about criminal justice right quick. Do you support civilian oversight boards for police with real subpoena power and a binding discipline authority?
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. Um, again, that's that's another that's another agency that that sometimes feels disconnected from people, from
Okay.
communities for
Yeah.
sure. And that is one way that you could have that connection kind of built in, people from the community having some power
Hmm.
in that relationship.
Yeah.
Community policing is so effective. There's
Hmm.
there's so much good research on it, and like we don't use it enough.
Yeah. Do you support in and cash bail, which keeps poor people in jail before their trial simply because they can't pay a cash bail?
Yeah, that's another kind of one of those pay to play systems that you know, rich people can get off the hook because they can pay their bail. Like it's not fair.
Hmm.
Um, and it's it's not the best use of it's not the best way to for justice to be served, for sure.
Hmm. Now, if it's a serious crime, do you think that they should be held even if they're not able to pay? Okay.
Of
Yeah.
course. If
Yeah.
it's someone, if it's a person who, is hurting other people,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not the
Yeah.
same as a bad check
Okay.
or,
Of course.
you know.
Yeah. Okay. If you're elected and a police union pack ever comes to you, what would you say to them?
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
Um, I feel doubtful that they would,
Okay.
for one.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe they would. I don't know. I don't know what I would say to them. Adam, you caught me off guard on that one.
Okay.
Um, I think they're a union and they're advocating for their the other law enforcement
Hmm.
agencies and for police officers, and I think that's a good thing, collective bargaining, as we talked about earlier. Um, but I don't know.
Okay. That's fine. All right. So we can talk about labor and economics. So the June primary includes a state question to raise the Oklahoma minimum wage.
Mhm.
Do you support that? And what do you think the wage, like the floor of the wage, should be in Oklahoma?
I definitely support it. Um, Minimum wage at 7.25 is ridiculous. That doesn't even
Hmm.
buy you a a meal at McDonald's. Um, $15 seems completely reasonable. And you know what's so funny is like people that I hear who oppose it are like, I don't know anybody who pays 7.25. And if that's true, um, that people are already getting paid more than 7.25 an hour, then what's the big deal with raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour?
Mhm.
Um, I think wages should rise, um, excuse me, as easily as prices and inflation do. And I think whoever wrote this legislation, tying it to the inflation rate, I think that's what that they did on this
Mhm.
question was really
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Because it should go up. We shouldn't have to wait, almost 15 years to raise the wage when prices for everything that we're buying has gone up.
And it is a slow, gradual, year by year
Right.
increase. Because yeah, everything's expensive right now, and it's about to get even more expensive because of the situation in Iran.
Yes.
So
And honestly, by
um,
2029, $15 an hour is probably not going to be
yeah,
enough, and it's going to need to go up more.
honestly, in my eyes, today's minimum wage is like $10 an hour. It should be like at the bare minimum.
Right.
Like it should really be higher than that, but
I think so.
I think honestly $20 an hour, my personal opinion, but that's a little radical. So Oklahoma is a right to work state. Do you support repealing right to work laws?
Yes. I don't think they've served us. I don't know that I just don't know that companies and I'm even a small business owner now. I don't have any employees. I'm my only employee, but um yeah, I just don't think we need to give them any more power than what they have.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
they should be held accountable for the people that they're employing. They
Hmm.
should just be able to write them off.
Yeah. Do you support unions and making it easier for people to unionize?
Yes. And you didn't ask me this question, but I think the thing that I would love to take a look at is, they've made it harder and harder in the legislature to get state questions put on ballots, and that's been
Hmm.
intentional. And if the people want something addressed and their government is not addressing it, they should have every right and access to getting that on a vote.
Hmm.
I just the people should hold the power, and we
Yeah.
don't.
If elected, would you advocate for unions and like having laws that help it easier to make it easier to unionize?
Sorry, yes, I didn't answer that question.
Yeah, you're fine. I worded a little better. So, alrighty, education. You talked about teachers a little bit already.
Hmm.
Oklahoma teachers are one of the lowest paid in the nation, and 2018 was a walkout. What's your position on union teachers' pay and union protections for teachers?
Yeah, I participated in the walkout in 2018 because I was working for OKCPS as a social worker at the time.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Okay.
yeah, and you know, I think teachers deserve equitable pay. I think they also should deserve to also collectively bargain for that, and they should be able to organize to do that. Um, I worked in a school in OKCPS where we had, I think there were like 16 teachers and 14 of them were emergency certified. Um, and the reason that we have emergency certified teachers is because people don't want to work in the environment that has been laid out for them for the pay that they get. Like they're not supported. They don't get the training that they need. Um, and so, yeah, I support teachers. I support
Hmm.
equitable pay, and I support them being able to unionize.
Oklahoma's been one of the states that have been teachers have been attacked from Republican members for teaching woke ideology and things along those lines. Would, if elected, would you do everything you can to protect teachers more when it comes to being able to teach what they want to teach, but not going overboard and teaching crazy things, but not having so much censorship from the government.
Yeah, I mean, it's public education. So they should they should be teaching. There should be standards, and there are.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, they should hold teachers to those standards. And
Hmm.
um, but because we are a public institution, like we we should not be catering to any certain religion or
Hmm.
group. It should be inclusive. And not only should the public schools be inclusive to people, but what we teach should also represent the diversity of the population. I don't think that's woke or ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's just
that's why I
common sense.
did quotations.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I did quotations. So yeah, like so you do support teaching more accurate history of like slavery, civil rights, the indigenous history, and do you oppose like book banning and things along those lines?
No. I mean, I do oppose banning it.
Yeah.
I do oppose banning things um, just because someone on a board doesn't agree with it. Like
Hmm.
that's not okay. If it's I think our materials and our oh my gosh, the education materials that we are using to teach our
Hmm.
kids with, they should be reviewed. They should
Hmm.
have some oversight, but teachers should be able to teach real history, and that includes things that are uncomfortable for us to look at sometimes.
Hmm.
That's that's real life. It is history unmuted.
Yeah, yeah. That's one of honestly, that's one of the things we really want to get out on our message is talking about things that are uncomfortable and things that didn't necessarily were taught, especially in Oklahoma. So,
Yeah.
what's your position on charter schools? Do you think they should be expanded, or do you support more of a public school option, and public schools should be funded better?
I have mixed feelings about charter schools. I know some kids individually who have really found a place in their particular charter school that they go to, and it's been a game changer for their families to have them at those charter schools. So having options, I think, is good. Um, but I want to be clear, like we should never publicly be funding private schools. That is a separate conversation. That is not the same thing. And we should not be designating private, religious entities with public money. That's not okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's get into healthcare.
Okay.
Oklahoma's finally expanded the Medicare in 2020, Medicaid 2020. Do you support defending that expansion and even expanding it even more? And do you oppose work requirements?
I I definitely support the Medicaid expansion that we have. It was written into our Constitution. I was happily surprised that it did not make it the legislation that was being proposed did not make it through the Senate and the House to repeal, to have the state question that could repeal what we have already said we wanted. Um, I don't know. My thoughts on healthcare may be kind of radical, but
Okay.
I think it's human right. I think we should all have access to healthcare and that it should not be tied to your job. Um, I think single payer healthcare would be amazing. And
Okay.
I work, my husband works, we both are self-employed. Neither of us have healthcare. So it's
Mhm.
not about, well, just go get a job and you'll have healthcare. Like it doesn't work like that. And then even when you do have a job that offers you a benefit of healthcare, there was a plan that was offered to me that where the premium was going to be like, oh, I don't know, $1,300 a month. Like, how is that a bit? And then I couldn't even use it. Like,
Mhm.
I'd have to spend $12,000 before it would even start kicking in. Like, that's not healthcare. That is a scam.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So my wife and I don't have healthcare. We can't afford it, but my wife does, and my kids do, and we pay thousands of dollars a month. It's just like an extra tax, honestly.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can't do much. You couldn't do much about universal healthcare when it comes to the country, but that's nice that you support that.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you support state level action on insulin prices and prescription drug costs?
Yes. We should be controlling that. We have the ability to do it. We should be doing it.
Okay. If you were elected, would you take any money from Big Pharma or the health care PACs lobbies?
No, but I do know that there's like there's special interest groups that are related to like different mental health licenses and
Hmm.
things. Um I wouldn't be opposed to taking money from them.
Okay. Okay.
But when any money that I take, I want to make sure that it is there to help the people of Oklahoma and not line
Mhm.
the pockets of corporations or businesses or outside groups.
Okay. Alrighty. I've already talked a little bit about voters and voter rights, but do you support like an automatic voter registration and expand early voting access?
Yeah, definitely. Whatever makes it easier. And there are people who are homebound and people who are, in facilities that their vote matters too. And just because you don't have transportation or can't get out, like I don't think that should limit your voice, you know?
Do you support an independent board for redistricting? Because that is a big issue in our country right now. Both
Hmm.
sides are doing it, and I think both sides are being ridiculous, and they are just making everything worse, honestly, when it comes to redistricting. So, do you think there should be an independent board for both sides? Can think they can have their own say in districting?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that an independent board would is the answer.
Okay.
Um, but I also I know what we're doing right now, like you said, is not working. And it's really taking the focus off of what I feel like our focus should be on, which is um, helping to advocate for Oklahomans um, in issues that are affecting us every day, like where we sleep and
Mhm.
if we can eat and if we can be
Mhm.
seen by a doctor. Those things are just taken away from all of that, I feel like.
Okay. And if elected, would you take any money from big oil packs and like Devon Energy or someone similar to them?
No, I I don't think, Adam, that they're going to be offering me any money, but no, I would not.
Okay, of course. You never know though. So I gotta ask.
I know. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. And we kind of already answered those. All righty. One last thing about your district, and then we'll get out of here. And Moore was hit by a F5 tornado in 2013. What's your position on climate, infrastructure, and helping prevent uh, disasters, natural disasters, from a terrible situation to even worse situation?
I that was in my neighborhood. Um,
I'm glad you're okay.
thank you.
That had that. That was really bad. I didn't live in Oklahoma City at the time. I lived in Tulsa, but yeah, I heard
Mhm.
about it now. That was an awful situation.
It was picked the kids up from school and we immediately left and went down to Norman and just kind of waited it out. But it was a very scary time. And I I would love to make some meaningful legislation around our natural resources and climate change in the state of Oklahoma. Um,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I always feel like it's kind of like one of those kind of fluffy issues that we don't really talk about, mostly because we're kind of in survival mode. So
Hmm.
we have to think about how we're gonna eat and where we're gonna sleep and all of those
Hmm.
things. But taking care of our natural resources is so important to me personally. Um, I think, yes, I would definitely support legislation that would limit people exploiting those.
Hmm. Okay. All right. And so you run more in South Oklahoma City and a little bit of
Mhm.
Norman. So what have those people that you've talked to so far on your campaign, what are they looking for? And since you're more of an outsider looking in, running as more of an outsider,
Yeah.
is that one of the things that they like about you? And what is the biggest issues serving those people right now?
Yeah. The people that I've talked to in my neighborhood, like, um, they either have kids in school, they work for the school district, um, and education is always top thing for
Hmm.
everybody. Um, Moore Public Schools is the third largest district in the state of Oklahoma.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of things that I like about the things that this district does, and there are lots of ways that it can be improved. Um, but that aside, I think education is one of the biggest issues. Healthcare. Um, we have the Medicaid expansion, but a lot of people don't even qualify for that because it's got an income requirement on it.
Yeah.
And they they can't go to the doctor or they're afraid to go to the doctor when things do happen. Um, and then coupled with that is even if they wanted to go to the doctor and could afford it, they don't have paid time off. Um, and so even if they wanted to, it's they don't get paid if they
Mhm.
are sick or um they're afraid of losing their job if they're
Hmm.
sick. And
Yeah.
like that's not okay.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. You are running against five Republicans and primaries in a couple weeks and one Democrat.
Hmm.
Have you looked into any of their platforms, the Republican or Democrat, and what sticks you out from them?
Yeah, bless their hearts, those five Republicans, they got a big job because they're all basically faith, family, freedom platforms.
Hmm.
Um, and there's five of them. So,
Yeah.
um, I feel like the issues that we are facing in my district really have nothing to do with faith, family, and freedom. Um, they really have more to do with how can we survive as Oklahomans in this economy? How can we get our kids to school when gas prices are so high? How can we afford groceries? I think it really is more of a people are scared about how we can afford everything.
Hmm.
And not to say that any of those candidates aren't talking about that, but just when I looked at their websites, it's a lot of choose me because I'm a Christian and I'm um, a family person. It's very
Mhm.
coded, you know,
Yeah.
their
Mhm.
platforms.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't have any legislative history because I've
Mhm.
never been there before.
Mhm.
But what I do every day is advocate for people. I align
Mhm.
with what their goals are, and then I find a way to help them get there. That's what I do as a therapist, as a social
Mhm.
worker. And
Mhm.
I do have a good track record of that. And
Mhm.
I think for me, what I want to do is take that same mentality and apply it on a macro level to
Mhm.
my district and in the state legislature.
Okay.
I want people's voices to be heard,
Yeah.
and I want to listen to what they have to say, and I'm good
Nice.
at that.
I was about to ask you what's your why, but you kind of already answered it, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
As
Well,
far as
we're
the
wrapping.
as far as
What?
the
What?
Democrat in my race, I'm sorry, Adam, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you go. Okay.
I can't find anything out about him.
I
Maybe,
didn't see anything else. So yeah,
yeah. I don't know what that's about.
yeah, that's a little odd, but hey, that's his decision. Um, all right, well, wrapping it up. Appreciate you. How can people find out more about you, donate, and help you fundraise and campaign and
Yeah.
volunteer for you? Where can voters find you?
Well, I'm most active on TikTok.
Hmm.
So they can find me on TikTok. And
Okay.
I also have a Facebook page. I don't really understand how Facebook works on that page, but I do have one.
Okay.
I don't have a website up and running.
Okay.
So if they want to find me, they can go to either of those two places, Facebook or TikTok.
Okay.
Um, and they can find my link tree that has a contact form for volunteering, that has a donation button.
Okay.
Everything is on my link tree in both places. So,
Awesome. All righty. If you have anything else to say, do you have anything else to say? Sorry.
no, I am
Okay.
good.
All righty. Thank you so much. This is History Unmuted. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Adam. Bye bye.